tend to be typical versions of these decks. And the version that Fr0zen is playing is very atypical. And he needs some specific tools in this matchup. And frankly, this opening hand does not include those tools. Oh, well, there's an Arcanologist. That helps a lot. So the Ice Block in particular is obviously very crucial for Fr0zen to survive the big combos that Sintolol's deck is capable of. But most importantly, he needs to find polymorphs. He needs to find ways to deal with just the big health minions that Sintolol's deck is capable of generating and just connecting with over and over. Frankly, the barrier for Fr0zen was a fairly poor hit. He would love to have block. Well, there's both blocks. But now the Talon Priest plus Powered Shield that are available to Sintolol here will generate some very large minions.
You're starting to sweat. This is definitely really intense. Fr0zen going to prioritize playing the Ice Block this turn.
Crucially, the fact that Fr0zen did draw all 3 of his secrets at this point, as well as one of his Arcane Intellects, means that Dragon's Fury mostly hits big spells. There are 2 polymorphs and an Arcane Intellect left in his deck that cost less than 5. Everything else can potentially clear even large minions from Sintolol's side of the board.
Sintolol only has 1 dragon in hand, so if he plays Twilight Drake, Netherspite Historian will be shut off until he hopes that he draws a better card, or better dragon, excuse me. So this pressure is not one to be ignored easily. Fr0zen has a lot coming in here.
All right, Dragon's Fury, there are 5 big hits. That's one of them, the board is cleared. And look at Sintolol's face.
That was such a big moment, but he picks up another dragon. Netherspite Historian can refill the hand. Okay, is now the time. Do you go for the tried and true Twilight Drake, or do you make your way into the semifinals and become a legend? Choose your path, Sintolol, but choose wisely.
Temperus is pretty scary when at best you can break an Ice Block with your 2 turns. You give your opponent 2 turns, they do whatever they want. He's going to take it safe. My heart definitely said Temperance, but
I don't know.
Even my head there said Twilight Drake.
With so much on the line, this is the last game worth $50,000. You mentioned that they've already earned 50, but they double up to 100, and of course, keep their world championship aspirations alive.
And this is that high health board that can be difficult for Fr0zen to deal with. He still has that Dragon's Fury. He has the ability, if he hits yet another big spell, to clear this board. He does not have Polymorph. He does not have Meteor. He's got Ice Block, though, and he can afford to take it slow.
Now he's playing Ice Barrier, or Ice Barrier. Oh my goodness, hold on.
All right. Divine Spear Inner Fire is a 14-14 if he goes in the Drake, or he could make a 4-7 and a 10-10.
Right.
But Sintolol knows there are 2 Polymorphs and 2 Meteors in Fr0zen's deck.
Yes.
So making 1 big minion right now with the risk of either of those coming out and using your entire combo getting removed, it's got to be scary.
Yeah, he wants to pop at a very low health total, but Fr0zen knows that he doesn't want to play any minions.
He's going for it, though. Investing on the Historian. Now 14 damage coming in from Sintolol. Fr0zen has Blizzard, though.
Yeah. Dirty Rat to shut down the Wild Pyromancer. This is looking mighty grim for Sinto.
Well, he does still have
Potion of Madness.
He has Potion of Madness. He has a Inner Fire. He could break the block. He also has Cleric to heal these minions, and frankly, Fr0zen still doesn't have a way to kill this 10-10.
He does if the Dragon's Fury hits high and he has the D's valid.
It's true. Though Sinto can buff it more. Sinto can Power Word Shield it. He can heal it, get the Cleric buff, Cleric draw as well.
I do like any form of drawing at this point. Sinto's Hand is looking pretty weak.
Injured?
Ooh, spreading out the hell.
Okay. Circle of healing.
Wow.
That's going to pick up 2 cards for Sintolol.
Tracking Operative is also a pretty powerful minion with a lot of meatiness.
All right. Going to add even more threat to the board. Well, he knows there's no Geist in the opposing hand.
Yeah, Skulking Geist immediately just wins the game a lot of the time.
Fr0zen still has his Ice Block up. Flame Strike does not do enough. There's too much health on the opposing side of the board. It also means there's one fewer big spell. The Dragon's Fury can hit.
Oh!
Fireland Portal clears the board!
Sintolol is devastated. Fr0zen has cleared the board, and there's almost no way Sintolol can win it back easily anymore.
And now, getting to the late stages, so many of Sintolol's minions are vulnerable to the removals Fr0zen can bring to bear. Draconid Operative finds removal. Alex Straza's not too nice when you already have your opponent down to 6. It is another dragon though, if he cares about turning on any of those synergies, but he does have the Dustbreaker still in his hand.
It's also a big minion.
He needs something to stick. He needs some big minion to stick, and Alex Straza might be it.
Fr0zen at this point is starting to look at Sinto for reads on potential options here.
Fr0zen's body language has changed so much since before this game.
Yes.
Before this game, he was sitting head in hands, almost praying, and now he is staring confidently across the table at Sintolol, who's the one with his head in his hands.
Excuse me, you are on fire.
Desperate times calls for desperate measures. River Crocodile just hit the board.
Fr0zen has Flame Strike if he wants to clear, and he's going to do it
Wow.
with the help of these Artificers. 14 more life thanks to that armor. Sintolol is going to have to battle through.
We mentioned at the beginning of this tournament that there only can be one, and only one control mage lineup will be able to move forward, and Fr0zen is just a few turns away from locking out Sinto completely.
The thing is, there's just still chains of big minions available.
That is true.
This
is a huge
this
minion.
historian finds an operative, which can find more threats. Fr0zen doesn't have Jaina. Fr0zen doesn't have big removal in his hand. His hand is full of relatively low impact reactive cards. This is not yet over. Fr0zen has stymied Sinto's first push, but he has not turned the corner.
Excuse me, you are on fire.
Blood Mage Thaunos will be pretty important for Fr0zen to draw more cards.
Yeah, he's going to go ahead and cash that in. He's trying to find Jaina more than anything. Jaina will give him the ability to start turning the corner. Okay, Skulking Geist is another big one. Skulking Geist means that the Potion of Madness inner fire outs are gone for Sintolol.
Oh, hold on.
Okay.
We need to talk about this possibility. Sinto.
Things just got real interesting. Because now Sinto may be the one with the Death Knight.
Man, he does have it. So the inner fire plan has been thrown out the window.
We got a new plan.
I'm not sure about the coverage on this one. It's not even plan B. This is, you know, plan C or D.
All right, well, now who's the mage?
We said only one mage can get through, and I think this is the showdown we've been waiting for. Both players pretty much at full life at this point.
Fr0zen does have a Meteor. He can clear this board up.
Oh man, yeah, the disease outlay helps clean things up very nicely.
You are on fire.
Sinto has no clean way to get a Wire Elemental himself.
He's got a Meteor of his own, though, that he stole from Fr0zen. He can clear some of these off. Lyra. We've seen Lyra do some crazy things in these long games, too, but
Yeah.
Sinto is without 1-cost spells anymore. The Geist removed his one remaining inner fire, but yeah, he can still power up this Lyra. Try to get the job done.
Sure.
Mind Blast becomes another spell. Potion of Madness. Okay, let's keep the chain going.
Well, I mean, he can save that for a Water Elemental.
That's true. That is true.
Actually, just do it if he pushes into the Geist, yeah. Puts it at 1 health. Unless Fr0zen is going to ping his own 4-1.
Oh, there's his own Jaina. He's got to take down the Lyra, though.
Yeah,
Got to trade his
true.
board into this.
Lyra's too
This
threatening.
jungle hides many secrets.
Going to concede the fact that Sinto will indeed get a Water Elemental. Lyra also being an Elemental ends up giving Life Steal to Sinto, but it doesn't matter. What a crazy game.
Sinto has the Meteor, but he needs to respect the threat of a Jaina from Fr0zen as well.
Well, he can develop onto the board and have power with tentacles.
True. He can Twilight Acolyte and nerf this Elise, the Trailblazer, so no threat of getting his Water Elemental killed immediately.
This is still actually very scary. Yeah, the Death Knight here is so hard to deal with.
Yeah, Power Word Tentacles here. Got a huge minion. There's still 2 Polymorphs left for Fr0zen, though. And now it's time for the chain of his own. We got ourselves a Mage Mirror match.
I really don't know who's going to win anymore.
I do not either. Sinto has huge minions in removal. He's just taken Fr0zen's powerful cards and he's using them against him. A Meteor on the Water Elemental. He can potentially kill both of these and push for 7 damage. Is there any way for him to make another Water Elemental this turn?
Oh, nope.
Fr0zen really needs to find Polymorph. He has 2 Polymorphs and a Meteor left in his deck.
Melts away.
Only 8 cards. But Sintolol can save this Meteor for big minions from Fr0zen. He doesn't have to use it now.
That's right.
He can even just kill the Water Elemental on Fr0zen's side. Oh, this is cute. He can make a Water Elemental by swapping his own minion.
What a play from Sintolol. Showing resilient mental fortitude in the most clutchest of moments.
And he knows that there are no AoE cards left. Oh dear. Well, that's an AoE. Meteor, he can't quite make a Water Elemental and clear now, but does get one up this Water Elemental and has found the Polymorph. So this could be the comeback beginning for Fr0zen of his own Water Elemental brigade. What even is this game? How is this even happening?
What's become so kind of amusing is that they're in a deadlock grid. They're just kind of stuck in traffic. I thought I left Los Angeles, but it turns out I just flew right to another one. There's so many Water Elementals congesting the board and kind of hitting each other.
Fr0zen's deck has a Dirty Rat, a Raven Familiar, and a Polymorph left after that draw.
Oh, right. Oh my gosh, I didn't even pay attention to the deck size.
And Sintolol's deck is only 3 cards. He has a Divine Spirit, a Radiant Elemental, and a Shadow Visions of his own.
Right, and the order drawn could also make one of those cards completely dead. So Fr0zen can also play the Outlast battle. He's gonna play Fr0zen aggressively.
All right, well, this can be met with this Meteor.
Yeah.
And this lets Sintolol just push damage if he wants. And the life steal from these Water Elementals will get Sintolol's life back up. This is a card that Sintolol got off of a Draconet Operative. Fr0zen has no way to expect this is in his hand to play around it.
There is a cheeky way for Sinto to also get another Water Elemental if he doubles the health of the Elise, and then Meteors.
Okay, that works.
Do we care about that as much as we care about having a resilient minion? Because we know Polymorphs are very good draws and likely to hit this scenario.
go ahead and Meteor, kill them off. You see a shake of the head from Fr0zen.
Yeah, he was hoping there wasn't a way to deal with an 8-8 easily. And this lifesteal negates most of the battle cry.
Dirty Rat is the draw for Fr0zen. Can potentially sweep up another minion with Meteor, but he really wants to start making water elementals of his own. He is behind. It's a Radiant. And if he does cast Meteor now on the water elemental, the double attack plus ping can make another water elemental for Sintolol. Ah, okay.
Wait, whoa. What was...
I'm a little confused. Why did he call it?
He almost played Raven Familiar, but he would have guaranteed a draw,
Right.
which I don't think he wants to do because this fatigue situation is really important.
Well, I'm somewhat confused by his choice to polymorph the smaller one.
Well, because I think he's trying to set up the Meteor,
Okay,
right? Because he can still Meteor the,
yeah,
the
it's
312.
true. But he could still do that if he killed the 312. He could still cast the Meteor on the one in the middle.
Right.
I must decide.
Sintolol draws and casts his Shadow Vision. No spells left.
And so accounting
Another
for...
water elemental.
Yeah, but the life total here is also very relevant.
It is, absolutely. And there is a Meteor available to Fr0zen.
No polymorph number 2 yet. Fr0zen just picking up these 2-mana cards that he doesn't want to play yet. And here's another thing too. Fr0zen, by playing the Fr0zen aggressively, also lost the ability to play it defensively.
True. I think he was expecting that the Fr0zen's
must
body
decide.
would be what mattered there and didn't account for the Meteor that Fr0zen had stolen with the Operative.
Right, but you know, Sinto held onto a card for so long. What could he possibly had selected off of the Draken Operative Steel that he wouldn't want to play?
I must decide.
This is very awkward for Fr0zen because if he kills one of the 2 attack minions, he potentially... I think he has to ping his own water elemental, attack into the 2-power minion and ping his own water elemental to prevent... Yes. This prevents Sintolol from attacking and pinging as well to generate another water elemental. The last card is drawn for Sintolol, finds a Radiant elemental.
Sinto needs to kill this. He is ahead on the fatigue. But I don't think there's a way out if Fr0zen's able to get the polymorph and land it onto the minion, because then he's going to fall too far behind and all of his minions don't do anything.
The Battle of Jaina's, the Jaina with polymorph, turns out, has a pretty big edge.
Time melts away.
Is there any out for Sinto? Should he just extend onto the board? Is he all ending at this point?
Just trying to figure out what those last 2 cards are, and this is his
all in.
final push. All the cards are on the table.
Almost out of
That's a
cards.
polymorph. What's the final card in Fr0zen's deck, by the way? Is he allowed to play? You can't actually play these Ravens because they get eaten up and then the hero power cleans it up.
Can't play them yet.
I must
I
decide.
believe his final card is the 2nd copy of Fireland's Portal. And the polymorph here on the Radiant Elemental takes away an Elemental, also takes away a 2 damage increment, which means that there's no way for Sintolol to attack things into the 3/6 and ping it down.
And the
fatigue
fatigue
draw number 1.
And this could be the beginning of the end here for Sintolol.
It looked hopeless when Fr0zen had eliminated all of his minions with Dragon's Fury, but the Jaina from the Operative looked like it could turn it around. Fr0zen, though, he has found the tools to fight back.
He's gonna try to do as much damage, but if it is indeed Firelance Portal,
I'm out of cards.
which it is, this ping from Sinto set it up so that way he can get a Water Elemental, but what minion comes off this Firelance Portal could also be devastating. And Sinto knows what it is.
Yeah, I like this. Firelands on the 1. Firelands on Northshire Cleric. Gives him another elemental
Wow.
even. Though,
If he
actually,
needed
the 4/4 means there is a potential attack for Sintolol that will give him an elemental. He can attack into the 4/4 and guarantee himself a water elemental.
The time is now.
Did we call this one too early?
This is more complicated than my brain is wrapping around just yet. And Sintolol's trying to figure out all the complexities himself.
Time melts away.
King's his own minion. Water Elemental versus Arcane Tyrant. The fatigue is ticking for both players.
So that way, Fr0zen doesn't have an opportunity to ping himself. Although he has to kill his own, he has to kill his own minion by doing this, and sets a position where Sinto can maximize more value, perhaps.
But now there's no opportunity for Sintolol to create a Water Elemental. There's 2 on Fr0zen's side.
Yeah,
There it is. Fr0zen wins what he thought was an almost impossible matchup. He said he needed a miracle, and he got it. Fr0zen moved on to the semifinals.
Hard-fought match on both sides, and a warm embrace.